Hi everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Thank you for joining us for Employee Benefits ROI Driving Results Year-Round. We will be recording the webinar today, and we will send out both the recording and a link to the slides afterwards as well, so please feel free to share that with other folks in your organization who you feel like might benefit from listening to the content. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, feel free to put those in your control panel on your screen right there, and we will get to those at the end, time permitting. If not, we'll make sure to follow up with you after the webinar and get those questions answered. We are very excited to have with us today Eric Hellman, who is our Chief Strategy Officer here at Hodges-Mace. Eric is responsible for creating, communicating, executing, and sustaining strategic initiatives for Hodges-Mace. He has a vast background in innovative employee benefits administration and enrollment processes. And with that, Eric, I am going to hand it over to you.
Lee, thank you very much. Everyone on the call, I appreciate your taking some time today. At Hodges-Mace, one of our core values is innovation matters, but execution matters more. And as I have often said, the best ideas for future innovations come from customers and those who touch customers every day. It seems as though everyone in human resources is talking about employee engagement. At Hodges-Mace, we view employee engagement through the lens of the effectiveness of the overall benefits program, not just at open enrollment, but year-round. Today, I want to share with you some of our latest research into the obstacles to creating year-round results and introduce you to our latest innovation in the SmartBen platform, SmartBen Now. While the language used to describe employer objectives when designing their benefits program varies, the macro objectives of the benefit programs haven't changed over the last several years. In hundreds of interviews with employers and their brokers and consultants, employers consistently tell us they are balancing two key objectives when managing their employee benefit programs. First, they want to use benefits as part of an overall effort to attract and retain a highly productive workforce. Second, and perhaps even more importantly, in an increasingly competitive recruiting environment where low GDP growth puts a strain on profitability, employers are challenged to maximize their benefit programs both in cost efficiency and employee appreciation. After all, employees who don't appreciate their benefits are more likely to change employers for higher compensation, and employers who invest in benefits are allocating more of their total compensation to non-cash items. So finding the balance between employees and employer needs is of the utmost importance. And the business case to work hard on these problems is compelling. First, the cost of the employer's portion of benefits is extremely high. Increasingly, we're seeing employers that are considering these costs on a per employee per month basis. And benefit costs keep rising as a percentage of total rewards. When it comes to our workforce, it's scary that so many employees say they'll entertain other job opportunities in the next year. 60% say they'd even take a job with lower pay if the benefits were better. To lose employees because of benefits is expensive and frustrating when you consider how much we invest in the benefit program. We've heard from clients that the biggest challenge to achieving their goals is that benefit programs have now become a two-way street. In the old days, benefits were a lot simpler. We really didn't ask employees to help us control costs, and the value of benefits was sort of universally accepted. Now, we need employees to get into the trenches with us. We need them to be smart about how they choose and use benefits, and we need them to understand and appreciate our investments in their financial well-being. So the question that employers ask us is, what's holding us back? The answer we hear most often is complexity. People are busy, money is tight, and employee benefits are complicated. Complexity kills the whole experience, whether you call it consumerism, engagement, satisfaction, or something else. Employees are confused about their benefits, and when they're confused, they don't engage. These stats sort of paint the picture in a sad but funny way. 7% of the employees we surveyed can define copay, coinsurance, deductible, and out-of-pocket maximum. 1 in 4 people would rather have their teeth cleaned than deal with their benefits. Probably no surprises here, but the worst part is that the complexity also creates a trust issue. For example, 70% of employees believe their employer has little concern for their financial well-being. Obviously, this is frustrating when you think about the investment that you're making in benefits and how much greater that investment is now versus 5 or 19 years ago. Some of this stems from how we communicate benefits. In fact, 77% of employees who rate their benefit education experience as fair or poor also rate their employer as fair or poor. Again, this may not be fair, but that's the perception. The bottom line is poor interactions lead to poor perceptions and a poor ROI on benefits. And the fact that for many employees they engage benefits once a year at open enrollment just exacerbates that problem. In order to address the challenges of rising cost and the demands of a multi-generational workforce, employers and their broker consultants have been forced to deploy an increasingly diverse and often complex benefit strategy. In a world of connectedness and employee self-service, these complex strategies often lead to more employee disengagement, undermining the success of the overall benefit program. As my father used to say, when a ship misses the harbor, rarely is it the harbor's fault. So as we design these complex benefits programs, it's important to understand where our employees are coming from and why the results perhaps are not there. Unless you're intentionally getting off the grid, you know that online overload is real. Apply this to the world of employee benefits and you realize that every carrier, account administrator, and program vendor has their own website or mobile app. And because they deal with sensitive information, they all have their own user ID and password. Additionally, many of these websites support transactions that are only needed once a year by the average employee. When I saw this stat from Dashlane, frankly, I was originally incredulous, but then I went to the proverbial list of user IDs and passwords that we all have and included the number of sites that perhaps I signed up for just to execute a single transaction, and I'm embarrassed to say that my number is actually higher than 130. Not surprisingly, in that kind of environment where online overload is real, the programs that many employers are rolling out suffer from underutilization. An example of that is telemedicine, and while the stats are improving in many early rollout of telemedicine programs, utilization is in the low single digits, when clearly the number of employees and their family members that have an encounter that could be satisfied through telemedicine is upwards of 50%. Employees also are feeling that they're underserved. Employee engagement has always been tricky, even in employers where the human resources departments have an aggressive communication campaign. Our employees report being under-communicated with. Perhaps it's because employee benefit communications are all too often associated with open enrollment or with adoption campaigns which are out of step with the employee's need to use the particular benefit. And finally, employers and brokers report that they are loath to invest in adoption of a particular carrier or vendor's proprietary website or mobile application for fear of getting locked into that provider. We all know that markets change, and today's price and quality leader might quickly be usurped by a new market entrant or someone who has made a commitment to win market share. If you invest in adoption of a particular vendor's program, you naturally increase your switching costs and cut down on your flexibility to manage cost and quality across your benefit program. But while the demands on benefit delivery have been affected by increasing complexity of programs and new communication channels, it's important to remember that the macro objectives still haven't changed. It's still about attracting and retaining and managing cost. So we look deeper into what specifically do employees want. Employees report that they really want increased convenience. One-click access, immediate connection with providers, simpler tools and guides. The list goes on and on. Second, they are acutely aware of the impact of cost and risk shifting and desire more financial confidence. They're frustrated that they don't know where they stand in terms of account balances and deductible and out-of-pocket status. And by the way, while they are frustrated, they report that the process of staying up to date on these items is so onerous, they don't even try. Third, employees want to save money on their consumption of health care. But when most have a need for themselves or a family member, they take the path of least resistance and often pursue higher cost health care alternatives, even when their employers have invested in more cost-effective programs, like going to urgent care instead of using telemedicine, or taking their doctor's recommendation for a branded drug or radiology facility when there are equally effective alternatives that could have saved them money. The employer's desires are, in many ways, a mirror image of their employees' wants, but they are articulated somewhat differently. First, all employers want their employees to be more productive, and a portion of that improved productivity can be gained by removing time-consuming tasks that tend to sap an employee's work hours. Simple inquiries like, what dental coverage do I have? What is my PTO balance? And where is that number for someone to help me with a claim? These are questions that are best answered during working hours, and if you're like me and have ever tried to answer questions like these, I'm sure you can agree that before you know it, an hour of quote-unquote work has been lost. Second, employers report that they want increased utilization of cost-saving programs and benefits designed to improve their employees' lives and lower their overall benefits budget. Programs like telemedicine, pharmacy optimization, and cost transparency programs, but also programs like employee assistance and HR hotlines. These programs often report utilization in the low single digits when, through employee surveys and claim analysis, we know the optimum utilization is actually quite higher. And finally, employers want program flexibility. One of the primary reasons we have benefit brokers is that the market for products and services in the employee benefits industry is both diverse and rapidly changing. Employers and their benefit consultants want the freedom to access these markets to bring the best combination of cost and quality to help the employer meet their objectives. Anything that decreases this flexibility is to be avoided if at all possible. So what's getting in the way of achieving these employee and employer objectives? What is detracting from our efforts to leverage our benefit programs to simultaneously attract and retain a highly productive workforce while optimizing costs? Everything we talked about on the previous slide: overload, low utilization, undercommunication, and proprietary application architectures. Well, where can we look to find the architecture for potential solutions? There are plenty of examples of applications that keep people engaged. And while they vary wildly in their functionality, they often follow a very similar underlying architecture. By identifying and following this architecture, we can increase the rate of engagement for employee benefits. First, it's important to understand that we're now at or past the tipping point with regard to smartphone usage. 83% of Americans own a smartphone, and it has become the go-to place to engage in information that employees want. But the underlying architecture of those leading high adoption apps is very similar. First, you must give employees information that they want to access more frequently. For Facebook, for example, this entails providing access to updates about your friends. Today, benefits are a low transaction environment, usually focused around open enrollment. Second, these highly successful and engaging applications co-locate information they want you to see adjacent to the information you want to have. Again, in Facebook's case, this is the placement of highly relevant ads in your feed. Finally, these applications integrate customized messaging that is able to pierce through the clutter of broadcast ads and email overload. In response to all of this market feedback, and based upon the awesome talent of our in-house development team, we are prepared to bring you today SmartBend Now, which we believe is an answer to the bulk of this research on how to engage employees year-round and to drive year-round ROI. SmartBend Now is the industry's first omni-platform employee benefits engagement solution. When we say SmartBend Now is omni-platform, we really mean it. As I said, smartphone access has been nearly ubiquitous, but nearly ubiquitous in benefits isn't good enough. We know that many of our clients, while they'll celebrate the fact that they can reach 83% of the people through smartphones, they'll ask us about the 17%. So in a unique for the industry application, we've taken SmartBend Now and made it truly cross-platform. The experience on a smartphone, the experience on the web, the experience in Android, the experience in Mac, PC, Apple is all consistent. So for the first time ever, all your employees have access to the tremendous power and benefits of their benefit information wherever and whenever they want it. There are three major areas of benefits that we attempted to provide. First, by providing consolidated access to personalized, relevant, and useful content, employees gain greater confidence and appreciation for their benefit program. SmartBend Now transitions the benefit program from a once-a-year transaction into a benefit program that is relevant, useful, and appreciated year-round. Second, like the leading business-to-consumer applications, SmartBend Now also co-locates things we want employees to do adjacent to things they really want to have. The placement of navigation tiles for things like telemedicine, wellness, and cost transparency tools next to information about account balances and satisfaction of deductible and out-of-pocket ensures that these programs remain top of mind and are used more frequently. This increases the return on investment for the employer, not to mention increasing the satisfaction of the employee. Third, SmartBend Now is vendor agnostic. Future changes to vendors can be executed seamlessly because investments in adoption accrue to the employer, not to the provider of the services. While there are 13 different tiles and several useful navigation icons, we think it's helpful to think about SmartBend Now in terms of 5 major groupings of features. First, through a unique application of technology, SmartBend Now has the ability to deliver up-to-date status on the deductible and out-of-pocket for employees and their dependents. In a survey of employees, this was the #1 information request. Employees said knowing where they stand increases their confidence, but they reported the carrier websites were difficult to access and to navigate. SmartBend now satisfies their request and solves these issues. If they want more information like specific claim status that can only be found on the carrier's website, a convenient link customized to the specific plan of the employee is embedded in the tile. Next, employees frequently want to know their balances on various accounts, but don't want to go to the administrator's websites or mobile apps where they have to remember user IDs and passwords. SmartBend Now presents these account balances in easy-to-navigate tiles: 401k, 403b, flexible spending accounts, and PTO balances, just to name a few. And because of the open architecture of SmartBend Now, employees can see account balances from accounts not even being managed by SmartBend Essentials. Third, and perhaps of most value to employers, is the ability to place critical programs adjacent to the aforementioned relevant information. Veritably any program or benefit that has a website or a phone number can be represented in SmartBend Now. Think about having a telemedicine tile on the same dashboard as the employee's deductible and how that can drive increased utilization. Or how the information about their drug copays co-located with a link to a drug transparency tool can increase cost savings. How many times have employees had a need for EAP but did not know how to access it? No longer, it's now conveniently located on SmartBend Now. The fourth area of functionality is found in the seamless access to the trove of information about an employee's benefits they might infrequently need, but when they need it, they desire the utmost convenience. Much of this information is available on SmartBend Essentials. Information about their current and future benefit elections, plans and policies, and benefit documents. Through a simple and secure single sign-on interface, Employees can access all of this information through SmartBend Now. And as you expect, SmartBend Now also provides notification and access to enrollment events as well. So rather than creating a 24/7, 365 benefit delivery system that leaves the once-a-year transactional system behind, SmartBend Now incorporates all of the value of your investment in Essentials to create even more employee value and engagement. Finally, again, like many leading business-to-consumer platforms like Facebook, when you deliver all of this relevant content and navigational functionality, the next logical step is to use the platform to deliver messages directly to employees. SmartBend Now integrates with the messaging capabilities of SmartBend Essentials to deliver both urgent and routine messages to specific groups of employees. These messages drive increased engagement and improve appreciation of all of your benefit programs. Like it or not, email is beginning to lose its effectiveness as a communication tool. SmartBend Now opens up a new channel for effective benefit communication. SmartBend Now is an important milestone in the history of innovation of Hodges-Mace, but it also marks the opening of a new chapter of development of our organization. By expanding the SmartBend system into a true 24/7, 365 platform that helps employees use their benefits rather than just enroll in them, we set the stage for additional functions, some of which are already in development. Next, you'll see the addition of push messages to SmartBend Now. There's something about that little red dot on an application on your smartphone that makes you want to clear it. That functionality will be available in SmartBend Now. Later this year, you'll also see the ability to categorize and capture medical ID cards. Never again will your ID card be in that other wallet in your other briefcase. Third, we're developing a series of communication campaigns that are tailored to specific populations and structured benefit initiatives that can be easily deployed by employers. Think about an initiative to close the gaps in care for members with chronic conditions with diabetes, or the ability to target individuals who used the emergency room for procedure codes that could have been fulfilled elsewhere with reminders to use telemedicine or urgent care. You've told us that analytics without the ability to deliver results are borderline useless. Future developments in SmartBend Now will help to close this effectiveness gap. And finally, later this year, we'll also deliver the ability for employees to take pictures of the dependent verification documents and upload them directly into SmartBend Essentials, adding much-needed convenience to this critical task. SmartBend Now has already been validated with clients. The value propositions of employee convenience, confidence, and cost savings are already evident in our early tests. Employers like Phoebe Putney, a 4,500 employee health system in Southwest Georgia, are already realizing the benefits of improved productivity and better utilization of benefit programs, all without sacrificing vendor independence. At Hodges-Mace, we believe the key to driving year-round benefits results lies in increasing employee engagement. We will continue to work with our customers and consultant partners to achieve this objective. We believe SmartBend Now is both a mobile application and web portal that provides personalized, up-to-date, and critical information about all your benefits and programs directly to employees is an excellent move towards realizing this objective. SmartBend Now provides employees convenience, increases their financial confidence, and unlocks cost savings by keeping alternative benefit programs top of mind. For employers, SmartBend Now contributes to improved employee productivity, increased utilization of cost-saving programs, and vendor flexibility. We know that the situation that all of us confront with regard to health benefits is characterized by increasing complexity and a difficult-to-reach multi-generational workforce. We believe that by squarely addressing these challenges, we can improve the return on investment for your benefits programs on a year-round basis. We thank you for your continued partnership. We would love to engage further to see how we can assist you in reaching your objectives.
Great. Thank you, Eric. We do have one question that I think we've got time for. I can throw it your way. So we have someone wondering, with with any program, obviously you need to have a strategy around adoption. They're curious what Hodges-Mace would suggest to help with the adoption of a new mobile app.
Well, Lee, that's what I call a great question, because I actually have a slide for it, but let me address it just specifically. We realize that many of our employers have not approached a program like this before, where the metrics are very much like they are in the business-to-consumer space. The metrics are downloads and monthly active users. So our communication team has developed a toolkit which can be easily customized by the employer to include initial onboarding, instructions, motivations, incentives to get people to download the app, as well as continued engagement materials to help make sure that the proper use, the monthly active users, continue to grow. So the part of the benefit, I think, from a Hodges-Mace perspective is while we are a technology company, our roots and our entire fabric are technology plus service to achieve results.
Great. Thank you, Eric. We really appreciate you taking the time to go through this with us today. Again, everyone, this has been recorded, so please look for a link to the recording in the slides to hit your inbox sometime over the next 24 hours. We will get that out to you. And if you have any questions or wanted to connect with someone here at Hodges-Mace to talk a little bit more about what we're seeing from our clients and how that's impacting our innovation, please feel free to reach out to us. You've got the email address there on the screen. It is marketing@hodgesmace.com. Thank you.